Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
There's no time to rest for a marmalised England, who find themselves back in the crosshairs after Pakistan's 10-wicket triumph yesterday, as we move on to Karachi contest number 3. Babar Azam has taken the opportunity to put the tourists back into bat, knowing that even if they post 200, it may not be enough. Good morning, good afternoon, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the tastiest, crunchiest, revolutionaryest guerrilla cricket. We're here for match number 3 of 7. Would you believe 7 between Pakistan and England, and it's 1-1. And I am joined first thing this morning, or this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you may be, it'll be different, by one man just down the road, I believe, and one man many, many, many thousands of miles away. We have Jack. Jack's back. Hello, Jack.
Hi, Hendo. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm still depressed by the fact that Wimbledon are the worst performing team of all 92 league teams in the last 5 years. I discovered that.
You take it, you're too emotionally invested. We've had this discussion before.
We've been there. And down, the wonder, not the thunder, but the wonder from down under. It's none other than Messi Jez. They're messing with
I'm feeling a lot older today,
yeah.
Hendo.
Well, if you think this is
my
bad...
youngest son was 41 today, and I realised how bloody old I must be to have children so old.
Yeah, it's fucking old.
I always find it's best not to have children. They won't do things like that and remind you of how old you are. But yes, I suppose that is a worry. I suppose it would have been more worrying when they actually reached 40 last year, wouldn't it? Didn't you have a sort of a dark night of the soul then, or is it?
It gets
41?
worse every year, mate.
Right.
Worse every year.
Well, as we got Jack on, I mean, Jack, what do you think of the high performance review? Do you think it's brilliant?
No.
No. Okay. Neither do I.
Like, what's the? I don't really understand it.
I don't understand it. There's a lot of things going on. Messi Jez, do you understand it?
I haven't read it, so I'm saving my powder for that.
Yeah, good idea.
But all I know is that England's performance is very suspect, and if they think Alex Hales was the answer, then they're asking the wrong questions.
Oh, now that's an interesting point of view. Because Alex Hales finds himself surplus to requirements today. He's been left out. Maybe it's because he dropped a catch yesterday. Didn't bat particularly well.
Dreadful.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful. It was one of the worst 25s I've ever seen. But he loses out today to Will Jacks, who makes his debut. Good to see Will Jacks. Jack,
Good.
A man named after you?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
He's been pretty good this season and the season before for Surrey, hasn't he?
Yep.
One of the guys to get 100 in the 100.
Indeed.
So yeah, it probably deserves a go.
And he can bowl. He can bowl a few off breaks, can't he? As well, he's done quite a lot of bowling in the short form.
I don't know if England need another guy who can bowl a few off breaks.
You might be right,
but he can do that. Yeah.
Well, Moeen Ali was blaming himself and Alex Hales. His one over that he bowled for 21 yesterday as to why England ended up losing that game. But it was a fantastic opening partnership between Rizwan and Babar Azam. Babar Azam getting his second T20 International 100. I'll give you the details. Pakistan have won the toss and bowl. So England going with 3 changes. There's a Wood coming in for a Wood. Now that's spooky, isn't it? Will Jacks, Phil Salt, Dawid Malan, Ben Duckett, Harry Brook, Moeen Ali, Sam Curran, Liam Dawson, Adil Rashid, Mark Wood and Reece Topley. Reece Topley getting his first outing of this series. Pakistan are unchanged, not surprisingly. Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan, Haider Ali, Shan Masood, Iftikhar Ahmed, Kushdil Shah, Mohammad Nawaz, Shahnawaz Dahani, Mohammad Hasnain, Haris Ralph and Usman Kadir. What do we think, chaps? It's 1-1, sort of comfortable-ish wins for both the teams chasing. It's all about chasing, isn't it, this game?
No.
Okay.
It's
Tell
the
me why
answer
not.
to that. Like, it's a boring narrative trope, but maybe it's slightly more true in Pakistan than it is somewhere else. But
are you accusing me of having a boring narrative trope?
No, I just like every time I come on the show, somebody says T20 is all about chasing.
Well, it is.
And it's just like not any actual evidence. For
Well,
that.
I think it's important that England bat first, actually, because they need practice in that.
The actual interesting thing here is that England are playing closer to their best bowling attack, and that's what we should be interested in, not who wins a coin toss.
Even with Liam Dawson in the team. Now, I'm going to have to jingle people up. I've got to do everything here today because those two lazy bastards sitting in the green room chatting about things that you'll be able to read about in the Smaximum later. But in the meantime, I've got to do all the work. I've got to commentate, I've got to host, I've got to play the jingles. And I do worry about the fact that we've got a Will Jacks jingle. Yes, we have. Here it is.
It might be Will Jacks. Maybe it's Will Jacks. It's probably Will Jacks. Yeah, it's Will Jacks.
I quite like that. He's also got Phil Salt alongside him.
Get up on there. Salt, yeah, Phil is here. Want you to push it good into the offside. Scores runs around the park. There's nowhere you can hide. Push it. Salt, yeah, Phil is here.
I may have put the wrong glasses on as well. Can't see the screen. Tell me what's happening out there. It's dark. The lights are on. Mohammad Hasnain is going to open the bowling. It's got a jingle that goes like this.
So filled with pain because Mohammad Hasnain, he hit me squarely right in the testes.
There is a slip, but no need of him as this is whipped away by Phil Salt to deep backward square. And England take a single. The GPL is open. £108 in the GPL today. Get involved, people. We only had
stacks.
That is loads, isn't it? Get on it, because we only had Messi Jez and one other person taking part yesterday, and of course nobody won. But get in on it. Go to guerrillacricket.com/competition. Follow the instructions. Estimate how many runs you think will be scored in the day. You've got 45 minutes to do so. If you get it on the nose at the end of the day, you win the money. Or share it if someone else has also got the same number as you. GPL, Guerrilla Prediction League. That's what it stands for. Guerrilla Prediction League. Hear it over and over again in your head until you've gone to your screen and tapped out. your forecast. Will Jacks will face his first ball in international T20 cricket. Got his cap earlier from Sam Curran, and Hasnain is in, and well, he plays it much the same as Phil Salt played his first delivery, all the way out to deep backward square, and he takes a single. England are 2 for no wicket. Messi, we think we maybe have neglected YouTube a little bit this week, so if you can find some people on YouTube to mention, as well as those who are tweeting us in, that would be handy.
Okey-dokey. Well, right, Colin Suter is there, I'm pleased to say, saying afternoon, folks. Jack's input, that's fucking old. He likes that.
Okay. In comes Hasnain again, bowls, and Salt will take a run as he pushes up to a deepish set mid-off, although inside the circle. And England going along at a run a ball are 3 for no wicket from 3 deliveries. Who's joined us on Twitter?
So Leah says, hello everyone, what a great start into the weekend. Farung says, greetings from Mirpur, hope everyone is well. If only Salt had let the ball hit his helmet when Baba was on 15 last night. Ludo, delayed due to state of the phone. My wife has the phone.
Can you not listen on any other device? Here comes Hasnain. Got a long run up, bowls foolish, and Jack drives. Doesn't really get his foot to the ball, but he plays it quite nicely with his hands up to mid-off. There is no run. Who else is with us? Who else? Hopefully loads of people.
Jay Graver says, afternoon all. Messrs, how do you think Madar feels? I'm 44. Well, my daughter's 47, in fact, so I feel even older. Well, obviously Madar feels bad about being my father for many reasons beyond chronology, but you get my point.
I do. It's another of those very flat-looking pitches with sort of spindly cracks in it, which we don't expect to open up in a game of this length. Hasnain in. Oh, has he got a little edge there? I don't know. It kept a bit low. Jacks couldn't lay bat on it, I don't think. It scuttled through to Mohammad Rizwan, and there is no run. Let's have another look at that one. He's trying to bowl an off-cutter, but well picked up by Rizwan. It wasn't easy to take that. It's just definitely kept a bit low. Now, Jack, did you see yesterday's game?
Yeah, watched it.
Did you think it was curious how poor England were in their first 10 overs when they batted? The rest of the game, it seemed that the shots were going everywhere, but they really struggled. Hasnain bowls, Jacks launches this through mid-wicket aerially, but then all the way along the ground, out to the boundary for the first one of these of the day.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
I don't know. I don't know if they were bad so much as the execution wasn't great. They were trying to hit the ball for 4 and 6, which is like effectively what you're supposed to do.
That's true.
They just looked ugly doing it.
They did.
So I don't know if you'd say that was bad or not. I guess it depends. Well, they got like 88 off the first 10. I'd say that was pretty good.
Was that what they got in the end? 88?
No, I think it was something in the 80s.
It didn't seem as many as that, I must admit. Anyway, there's another...
Well, even Hales, what did he get? 25 off 18, 19? It's not bad innings,
I mean,
really. Look
no, it
ugly,
was
but
horrible.
He hit.
In terms of numbers, it was all right. Yeah, I agree. But it looked horrible, and he just doesn't seem to have been up to speed in the field. I know he dropped that catch yesterday, and it's easy to pick out just a drop. But then also, his fielding in the first game we thought was a bit sluggish.
It's a dry country, Pakistan, isn't it? So it's probably got some bad withdrawal symptoms.
Poor boy. Poor lad. Is it Mohammad Nawaz coming in to bowl? Left arm round the wicket, bowls to Salt, who lifts this through mid-wicket. Is there anyone out there? There is, but I don't think he's going to get round to it. And it's another of these.
Sure.
2 + 2 is our man.
I suppose I should jingle up the bowler.
No, I was.
The winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this sun.
Of Pakistan.
Yeah, it's a very strange jingle. Don't know what to make of it.
Some of these scream, I don't think this player's going to play.
Smashed by Salt. There is a man out at long off, has to make some ground to his left, and they're only going to get 1 for that. Sorry, what were you saying?
Right, I thought it seems like that was a jingle for a man who.
Oh, I see. Yes,
writer never thought was going to get on the field.
It's an afterthought jingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Either that or it's one they spent hours on trying to think of what the hell can I say for someone called Nawaz, and that's what they came up with. I don't know who it was.
Given the numbers, it must be a stretch to get something new all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, we're suddenly asking for what, sort of 6 or 7 teams worth of jingles around this time of the year.
We're on the 9th iteration of some Beatles songs, so I don't know if it's that hard.
Yeah, that's true. Nawaz around the wicket flat and worked through square leg. Certainly one. Might be a second, will there? No, there won't.
I'm saying this as somebody with very little musical talent, so, sorry to the people who do write the jingles.
I think you understate that. You did extraordinarily well in the Jingle Ashes, as I recall. Jack?
I don't remember. I don't think I was involved in the Jingle Ashes. No, because I was out of action. Didn't hear any of that. Anyway, here comes Nawaz again into Salt. Salt lifts this through mid wicket. There is a man out there. He doesn't have to run too far to get to that one, so it'll be just a single. And reasonable start from England. Tend to be targeting the mid wicket area. We were talking about that. The gap between mid wicket and long on, or deep mid wicket and long on, which was really well utilised by Rizwan and Babar Azam yesterday. It's a good place to score, but not an easy shot to play. Jacks gives himself room outside the leg stump, is followed by this ball, then tries to swing it away, but makes no contact. And there is no run. Salt 8, Jack 6, 14 for no wicket.
He thought that ball was too good to be true, I think.
Yeah, he
back out.
He's trying to hit it. Yeah, he's young to put his back out, but he could do. Nawaz in again, short, and he pulls this one again, perhaps trying to overhit it. He's going to get 4 runs though, because the mid wicket had been brought up, strangely enough, and that has gone away for one of these.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
18 for none from 2. Messi.
Leah's trying to cheer you up. She says, Vlad decided to feed another 500,000 Russians into a wood chipper. Russians in zinc coffins are the best Russians.
Oh dear. A bit harsh.
Brown Barris says, G'day cricket nerds. In the next 30 hours I will be packing for my trip, going to a bar to watch the AFL Grand Final at 1 a.m. Then riding 7 hours to New England. 6 of those hours, plus whatever I can get in the car, are scheduled for sleep. Pray for me.
We will pray. We will definitely get down on our knees about that. Hasnain will continue into his second over, coming in to bowl to Salt, who tries to pull but has lofted that. And although Hasnain and the man coming in from extra cover try to get in each other's way, it's snatched out of his hands. The catch has been taken. England have lost their first wicket. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't rate Phil Salt. Anyway, he's gone.
The crowd says, you're out.
Yeah, just back of a length, got it up on the splice, was trying to pull it into the onside, and who has snatched that out of the hands of Mohammed Hasnain? Is it Kushdil? It could well be. But I'm afraid that from an England perspective, Phil Salt has gone. And it will bring to the crease none other than yesterday's Golden Duck victim, Dawid Malan. Better get his jingle going, as it takes 12 whole seconds.
Introducing the next generation David.
That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name.
Dawid Malan, congratulations.
Yeah, just completely mishit that. I mean, it didn't seem to be particularly quick. It was quite short. It was there for the shot, but he just got it wrong.
Have you ever batted against someone who chucks it though? It's difficult to pick up where the ball's coming from.
I think Hasnain chucks it.
I think he's been banned for chucking it.
Yeah, but possibly. But he's back. He's back. So presumably, unless someone notices the crook in his arm, he'll continue to bowl.
I don't think the host broadcaster are going to be showing it to us. But
here he is again. He doesn't look as obvious a chucker as one or two people I've seen in cricket. This is pushed up to mid-off, extra cover, and Jacks has to really put the afterburners on to get through and grab the single.
He certainly riled up Stoinis, didn't he, in the 100?
Oh yes, but that's Australians for you, isn't it? I mean, they're not hard
Well,
to
it's
rile
also
up.
throwers for you.
They're always claiming people are chucking the Australians. So I don't take them too seriously, Australians. It was Nawaz, I think, who took the catch in the end. So it was not Kushdil. I misidentified him. And they're all stroking Mohammed Hasnain's face after he took that wicket. It's very nice. It's very, very, very affectionate. Good to see. How long will Milan last today? He can't do any worse than yesterday. He could do equally as poorly as yesterday, but he can't do any worse. So Hasnain is coming in to bowl. He's got a slip, and he tries to flick it down the leg side. Might be given as a wide. It is given as a wide.
Would a 2-ball duck not be worse than a 1-ball duck?
Oh, I suppose it would take. Well, it depends which way you look at it, doesn't it? You can look at it either way, really.
Yeah.
In a T20 especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could have something there.
So he could do worse, which is...
So he could do worse.
Bad for him.
In fact, he's now... If he gets out now, he's done worse, we can actually say. 20 for 1. Jax has 11 from 8. And Shahnawaz Dahani is grinning about something. He's waiting for his opportunity to bowl. In comes Hasnain again. Oh, it's a horrible shot from Milan. Just a little prod outside the off stump with absolutely no foot movement at all. But this is the way Milan plays. He can be quite slow in the first over or two that he's out there, and then he comes to life. But,
this year, I think he's the best in the world in the first 10 balls.
You're kidding
me.
Made
a big change. Yeah, no, I think made a massive change to his game. So less of that slander against Milan.
Oh.
He is, however, pretty bad against high pace, and I think this bloke's quite quick, isn't he, Hasnain?
He's reasonably quick.
So this, he might be bad in this situation.
He's in again, and he dabs this down to third man. He's going to get a single as Dahani does the fielding. England move to 20 for 1, so Milan has not done worse than yesterday. He's got off the mark, and it brings Jax down to face. He's got 11 from 8. 2 balls remaining in this third over. Gosh, we only had 16 balls so far. We have. It just seems like I've been here for ages. Anyway, very strange indeed.
Must be the company you keep.
Must be the company. It must be the company. It'll be Jack sort of constantly contradicting me on every fact that I haven't looked at.
It's not a fact, is it? If I can contradict you, you didn't say a fact.
Oh, no, I didn't say a fact. I got it wrong. Outside the off stump, and Jax gives himself room in the manner of Alex Hales yesterday. Having done so, he can't really reach the ball, and it goes scuttling through to Mohammed Rizwan. I'll get there in the end.
Yeah. All I'm asking for is a fair appraisal of the players on show.
Fair appraisal.
It's nothing. It's nothing outrageous.
You never get that here. Fair appraisals. Just come to the wrong place, mate. 21 for 1. Hasnain is going to complete his second over. Running in, thin and lanky, bowls, and he beats. Oh, I say beats. Jax. I thought from the reaction of Rizwan for a moment that he actually edged it, but he hasn't. Good ball though. Hasnain 2 overs, 1 for 10. England from 3 are 21 for 1. Messi.
Colin Sider says Hendo giving off major sing the theme tune, write the theme tune vibes. Just Ideal says, isn't it more vital for Pakistan to chase because they can't pace a first dig? Warren says, morning all, it's been so long since we were last together.
Yes, seems like ages.
And Ravi Nair says, I can't stand Hendo with a face mask around his neck and an eye mask on his forehead. He looks as though he's just come from robbing a bank and is establishing an alibi.
Well, that's a pretty good idea, actually, now you mention it. Yeah, I'm not sure we got... I suppose I could go into Crystal Palace. There'll be a couple of banks there, wouldn't there?
How would you rob a bank?
How would I rob a bank? What's my game plan? I don't know. I'll probably have to sit down and think about that one. I'm not sure I can come up with a game plan for robbing a bank just like that. I'll have a when I'm off air, I'll have a little think about that. Dahani is into the attack. I'll jingle him up in a minute. Outside the off stump, flayed at by Milan and proving that he's brilliant in his first 10 balls. That flies down to third man for one of these. And it was Dahani who got him yesterday bowled him leg stump round his legs. This one was giving him width outside the off stump, so he threw the hand at it. And there was a third man, but it went too fine for him. 25 for 1. He's moved on to 5 from 3. Dahani was really fired up yesterday, wasn't he, when he got those wickets? Let's see what he's like today. Yeah. He's in again, and it's nicely stroked into the covers, but finding the man at extra. They could have got buzzers if they'd been unsporting, because the throw came in, hit Jacks and flew away, a bit like the old World Cup final. And I do seem to remember that we kept running, although it was only because it went for 4, wasn't it? But they decided.
I don't think they ran. It just went for 4.
It just went for 4.
Yeah.
Stokes was doing like a Jesus impression with his arms out, wasn't he?
Yes.
That one came off.
He's really going. This PR campaign's really working.
So it was Kizil Shah who went after that and brought it back. 25 for 1. In he comes, short. Oh, again he just tries to jab that. Gets nothing on it. I'm not sure that's a particularly great shot when you've got a slip in there as well. Understand it if there's just a wicket keeper, but if you thin edge that, you're either going to be caught behind or send it to the slip. But he's got away with it.
He was making a gesture a ball ago, like he couldn't pick it up properly, like the sight screen needed to be moved, and he is batting a bit like somebody who doesn't really know where the ball is.
Well, there's an enormous oil can at one end of the ground. I don't know if that's supposed to be the side screen. He's still got the slip in. He's at about a sort of position of second slip, and he's whipped this one off middle stump through mid wicket. It's being pursued. There's no one out there, and they're going to get back for 2. They might even turn for a third. I think they have. And England will move to 28 for 1. Milan to 8. And bringing Surrey's Will Jacks down to face. Of course, he'll presumably have had loads and loads and loads of texts from his mates at the Oval after Surrey won the county championship again yesterday. 21st Surrey victory, apparently. Maybe the last. Maybe the last time anyone wins the county championship, as there may no longer be a county championship as we know it. Dahani then into Will Jacks and bowls, and he drives and gets an edge and gets a rather fortunate edge. There is no slip for the right-hander, and that again has gone down to the boundary for another rather fortunate one of these. The early England batsmen have been very edgy the last couple of days, and a lot of their runs coming in areas that they're not really trying to play the ball. So they'll be happy with 32 for 1. I think this is what they were yesterday. 32 after 4, going along at pretty much 8 and over. Jacks is on to 15. Dahani is in, and he's lofted this one. There is no one down at long off, and it's 1 bounce for 4 more. That did go where he went, meant it, and he'll be very happy. 36 for 1.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
So O'Neill Harris says, "Good morning, Gorillas. Great to see Hendo, Messi and their grandson." Warren says, "I like the diversity of jingle formats. Can't wait for the first dance version." Well, I see Mpo dancing to some of our jingles in the past, and it's quite impressive. Brown Barry says, "For all you English football fans out there, today's 2-0 loss to Japan means that England should rightfully beat the US 10-0 when you play us in Qatar, and will absolutely deserve it."
Japan beat the US 2-0 today, did they? I didn't hear about that.
If we pump the Yanks 10-0, that'd be good.
That would be I'd quite enjoy that. I would quite enjoy that. I think most of us would.
Teach them not to throw the tea overboard.
Mind you, I do prefer Joe Biden to Liz Truss, so I don't know. Maybe I'd feel bad about that if England were to slaughter the US. Anyway, Harris Ralph is into the attack. It's only the 5th over of the innings. The wobbly Harris Ralph. Now, Jack, you might be able to pick up on this. Has he stopped wobbling as much in his run-up, do you think?
What do you mean wobbling?
He wobbles. Have a look at him. This is flicked up to mid-on by Milan, and there is no run. Harris Ralph, he may not have wobbled, but he did fall down as he delivered that. So he had to haul himself to his feet. He's got this little wobble as he runs in. And we identified it last year, and we were talking about it. One or two quite entertaining descriptions of it, and I've forgotten what they were, unfortunately. But I think he's ironed it out a little bit. I may be wrong. I'd need to look at him on YouTube from last year. A strong wind blowing in Karachi, but I think it's about 28 degrees, so still pretty warm. You need a little bit of a breeze. As Ralph is in. There he is. There he wobbled. There was a bit of a wobble, and unfortunately Milan finds it a bit too close to him. He's trying to cut it down to third man, but again fails to make contact in any way whatsoever. Score remains 36-1. Jax has 19. Milan has 8.
I quite like this Pakistan bowling attack. None of them really know where the ball's going to go, but they all bowl quite fast. And so anything can sort of happen, can't it? Like they could go for 250. They could bowl a team of 12. It's maximum carnage.
It's almost as if you're saying
very Pakistan about it.
You're almost getting to that point where you're coming up with the trope of mercurial. Be very careful. Be very careful.
It's not mercurial, is it? Like they could have picked like Hyder Ali.
They have picked Hyder Ali. Defended.
Have they? Is he in the team?
He's in the team. Backward point. There is
there
no
we
run.
Go. In for Naseem Shah, I guess.
Well, Naseem Shah has not made the team. I mean, was it Shanawaz Dahani who came in for him yesterday? We have the man who is propelling the washing machine again. I'm going to get one of those.
I think it's a dryer myself.
I'm going to get one of those. It's the only way I'll get fit. It's create a lot of washing and then do it by pedalling. Milan 8 off 9. Jax 19 off 12. Ralph halfway through his first over is in again to the left-hander. Hits him on the pad.
Big appeal for
rather excitable appeal, as it was probably pitching outside leg, if not also missing leg. They get a leg by anyway. 37 for 1. I don't think it's going to be reviewed. I'll be very surprised.
I'll sneak in a couple of tweets. O'Neill Harris says, I thought I was a sports buff, but I believe Baron Barish has been beaten by a country mile. Keep up the passion, bro. And Perko says, Hendo claims salt doesn't cut the mustard.
Oh, very good, very good. I did it without even thinking. 37 for 1. Harris Ralph is making a couple of adjustments to, I think, players probably at third man and long leg, maybe just moving them round slightly. Jax will face, and Ralph is in full, and he drives that punishing drive. That's a really good shot. All the way along the ground, dead straight, and all the way to the boundary for one of these.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
And that was the kind of shot that we saw in that 100 that he scored, which may be a good omen. That was a brilliant innings, irrespective of what I think of the 100 in general. It was fun to watch that. And he's just drilled that straight back past Harris Ralph. 41 for 1. Final ball of my spell, and Tony is moving into position. I think Jack's taken over on ball by ball. The bear has arrived. Ralph is in, and he smashed that. Didn't really get hold of it, but he's found the gap between mid-wicket and mid-on. It's being chased. He's not going to get there. That's a horrible smear. Horribly, poorly timed smear that has gone all the way for another of these. And that's me done for now.
And Tony, just ideal is the next tweet.
Super, thank you. And have you been onto YouTube at all?
I only at the beginning to mention Colin Soda.
Oh right, well there's a few since then, while the bear slides seamlessly into his position. Dar Azizi, happy Kent have won. I would say a good win for Kent. Faizan Khan makes a very good point. Working with Sean Tate recently has done wonders for Pakistan's fast bowlers in recent times. Tate has helped them improve. Yes, he certainly has. He also points out, Dar Azizi points out rather, Malan's not a number 3. So a few comments there on YouTube, and now I shall manoeuvre my way slowly but surely. Warren, the Pakistan Cricket Board have stolen our idea of powering Gorilla Towers by pedal power.
Well,
they have a bit, haven't they?
The washing machine is cool. All right, Jack, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm alright. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I was captaining in a boat this morning. I'm on the Grand Union Canal.
In the bath?
No.
What, like one of those
go boat
flat boat things? What are they called? Barges?
No, it wasn't a barge. It was a go boat. You can hire these little boats with electric motors. It's my daughter's 17th birthday. And that's what they wanted to do. And they need an 18-year-old or above to captain, so I had to go down and...
Tahani in, it's a bumper. It might be a wide. It seemed like it went over the head of Milan. But they're actually signalling one for the over. So he's got away with that one potentially. Carry on. Did you have the hat?
No, I wanted that. I took a photo of me saluting as I was going down the river, which I might put up in a WhatsApp group. I haven't seen it myself yet. I haven't looked at it. But it was quite good fun though. It's very relaxing.
Yeah?
Yeah, you get an hour.
Oh, I can imagine.
Just pootling along the canal.
I did a brilliant trip on the Grand Union once that ended up in Little Venice. Chap on had owned a narrowboat with his wife, and he served like food all day. He had an old wind-up gramophone, which he was playing as we went along. It was absolutely magnificent. I've never been so pissed on a boat. It was just superb.
Did you fall off?
No, I didn't fall off, but it was nonetheless enormous fun and a wonderful day out.
Milan 8 from 11, steers one down to third man. It will be cut off by Hasnain. Just a single there. 9 from 12 now. It's all got a little bit Michael Portillo with the introduction of you two here.
Or Michael Palin, if you want. But I thought Portillo was trains.
Yeah, Portillo's trains, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did boats for the money.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he probably does, but he was definitely a train man.
I'd say I was a train man over being a boat man. I can't swim, so that's...
Can't swim?
No.
Don't say it like that. Some people can't.
Yeah.
He might be slightly mildly ashamed
I live in
of it.
Peckham. Why do I need to know how to swim?
Well, you've got the River PAK for a start.
Yeah, well...
That's a subterranean river, Tony.
Well,
fall in that,
you might want to swim underwater. Even underground.
Tahani. Will Jacks punches the cover and they come through for a quick single. It's field. It doesn't make it into the outfield. It's a shy at the non-striker's end, but they've made it.
Swimming
safely.
underwater, of course, is basically known as drowning, so I could see why you don't fancy that idea.
Yeah, I just think swimming is a sort of life skill that you should learn.
It's not, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Like, it isn't. Like, when am I going to need it?
Well,
you never know if
you
you're
never
on a boat.
know. If you're on a boat, if you're anywhere on water, you might need it. You know. Do you never go on
No,
water?
because I'll be on a boat, won't I?
Yeah, but the boat can sink.
Yeah, then you're going to die.
No, not necessarily. You might be able to swim.
Come on. Here's Tahani one more time past the umpire. That's a big wide down the leg side, and Rizwan does very well to field it with his chest. Some way down the leg side, scrambling to stop that.
Wide.
Look, I'll grant you have a higher chance of survival, but if your boat sinks, probably you're going down with the ship.
I remember when I was first learning to swim, I had to swim in pyjamas, I think.
Yeah, that's part
to
of it.
prove
That's part of
you could do it.
test.
Yeah, to prove you can do it with like a bit of clothing on rather than
Have
just
you-
keeping yourself afloat.
Have you ever not drowned because you learned how to swim?
Well, I've spent 64 years not drowning, Jack.
Well, exactly. I spent 51.
Hardy in. Thick inside edge from Milan. Squirts out towards square leg. They come through for another single.
Do you go in the sea? Do you ever go in the sea?
I think I have a little wade around.
What happens if a riptide takes you and
I'm not an
sweeps
idiot.
you
I
out
wouldn't
to
go in the
sea?
sea if there was a riptide.
Well, you might not know. It might just suddenly appear.
You'd die anyway, wouldn't you? If
No,
it's a riptide.
because if you can swim,
Yeah,
you swim
no,
sideways.
where are you
and
going to
then you come
swim?
in.
Well, you can't swim against a riptide.
No,
That's a
you
ridiculous
swim
expression.
sideways. You don't know things, man. Jack,
I don't need to know it because I'm not going to go swimming.
I'm rather liking
I've
your
never
sort
heard
of
such
paternal
nonsense.
approach to worrying about Jack's welfare, Bear.
Well,
I'm
you
very
know.
impressed with that.
Here's Tahani once more. It's short, makes room to Jackson. He carves it over the covers. One bounce, two bounces. Caught by a man dressed like an extra from A Clockwork Orange on the boundary. Throws it back in. It's 4 runs.
I'm quite liking the look of Jack's.
Yeah, he looks good, doesn't he?
He does.
Powerful player.
Harry Brook has looked good in this tournament. Is Jack's in the World Cup squad?
I don't think so yet.
No, yet.
No, yes. He did hit 108 for the Invincibles against the Southern Braves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them have got slight question marks against spin, which we haven't seen yet. I'm not sure why. As Tahani comes through once more, Will Jacks makes room once more. He just lofts it over. Extra cover. It will run away. Will it make the fence? We don't know. The camera's cut away. The umpire is signalling for. Tahani has his head in his hands. Little lucky there, but 4 runs.
Yeah, he was a bit lucky. But that's T20 all over, isn't it? Got to take your chances.
Yeah.
This boundary is really short. I was complaining about it yesterday. The amount of space behind the sponge, and then they've got loads of green space there. Then they've got the advertising hoardings, and occasionally you see it go over the advertising hoardings. They've got about 15 metres behind the advertising hoardings as well. So I know
is this the Colonel Gaddafi Stadium?
This is
the National Stadium.
The
Karachi.
Gaddafi Stadium is where they go in Lahore.
Cool. I'm looking forward to playing some cricket in Gaddafi Stadium. That's got to be the best name around.
Change of bowling
for a stadium.
Oh, change of bowling. Usman Khadir. And he has a jingle that goes like this.
Usman's family in the footsteps of his daddy. He is family in Lauron family tree.
I think this is statistically the dullest over in a T20 match, isn't it? The 7th of the first innings. So, anyone got any conversation topics? We've done swimming.
Well, just ideal. I can read you a quick tweet. That's now 4 times in 3 weeks. Pakistan catching collision. Not seen any other team try it. Well, there's 3 of them. 3 of them nearly collided, but they did hang on.
No calling.
They're getting good at it then, aren't they?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
So Usman Khadir, how old is Usman Khadir? Anyone know?
I do. You might take me a couple of moments to source you that information, but I will have that information somewhere. Not on the England team sheet, though.
How old do you reckon? I've got it here, Bear.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, I'm just trying to think when his dad played cricket was, Christ, when I was really young, so the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's
And
going to be
40 years
late
ago,
20s,
so
early 30s, I
I think he's got to be, what, 31, 32?
29, you're in the ballpark.
Yeah. He's a late bloomer.
Milan on strike, 10 from 13. Will Jack's the other end, 36 from 17. In he comes Khadir. It's a reverse sweep from Milan, and the fielder at short third has done a belly flop instead of stopping the ball. Another extra from a Clockwork Orange will go round and ball boy it back in. Welcome runs for Milan.
Do you think they're there just to speed up the game? Because I think most of the games have gone on beyond the time limits.
I'm not what the Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
The Droogs. Is it the Droogs?
Yeah,
I think
the
it's
Droogs.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I couldn't comment on that. Might just have won a competition or something. Short from Khadir, not a particularly good-looking ball, but Milan has nailed it straight down the throat of deep mid-wicket. He could have hit that anywhere. He's out, 14 off 14.
That's the
and
kind
England
of
61 for 2.
That's when you get really upset when you go back to the dressing room. Well, in fact, that was. It's shit gets wickets.
That was an absolute pie.
It was a pie.
A little bit, wasn't it?
Great for the bowler. You get really happy.
Maybe halfway down.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't bounce up as much as Milan thought. So anyway, he could have hit it anywhere.
I will just tell you, by the way, Leah said, you're all amateurs. I broke the regimental swimming record for 1 kilometre in full battle dress.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, it's impressive in any kind of dress.
Exactly. Leah won't drown.
So there you go.
When the boat sinks. As long as it's
back
within
in the Bundeswehr days.
Yeah. Well, we have a new batsman. Have you seen the games, Jack?
Yeah, Ben Duckett, what he does is sweeps every single ball.
Yes, he does it quite well, though. It must be said.
Yeah. Good.
He's got a jingle that goes like this.
He's looking good now, he's in with the aces. He was up at Stowe School playing T20. He might play for England, but his still be Ben Duckett to me.
Short from Kadir, really short. It's the same ball again, but Duckett doesn't make the same mistake. He hits it all along the floor. He finds the space between long on and deep mid wicket and picks up 4 first ball.
2, 3, 4.
That's a very nice welcome to the wicket ball, isn't it? That's what you want.
Timed it beautifully then in that case, because it did seem to hold up on him a little bit, and he just timed it sweetly.
Better length from Kadir. Goes full. I think it's the wrong one. Duckett goes with it, drops it into the offside, and they take a quick single.
It was the wrong one. Has it surprised you how bad that Pakistan are against Adil Rashid? Well, certainly in the first game, they just didn't seem to pick his wrong one at all.
I don't know if it's surprised. I think he's quite a good bowler, isn't he? And
well, he is quite a good bowler.
Reasonably helpful surfaces, and Pakistan aren't a very good batting side. As Kadir comes through once more, Jax plays it from the crease and, well, nudge and run into the leg side, picks up another single.
Yeah, you'll definitely, if you can get those top 2 out, everything looks quite rosy from there, doesn't it? But as they proved yesterday, man, that was some chase yesterday.
Yeah, they're good yesterday. I've got some other thoughts on that. As Kadir comes in, sweep from Duckett, and it goes very fine. I'm not sure that's where he wanted it to go, and it might even have flicked his pad, I think. It will run away to the very, very, very fine leg boundary for another 4 runs, just to see the signal. Runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jeff Perkins says Jack contradicts the fact that he will contradict Hendo on every fact. He also said Hendo would never rob a bank, but he would forcibly sell them some spare copies of The Worst of Cricket at gunpoint. Which is highly probably true. Matt Searle, after listening to the Guerrilla Cricket podcast with Mog and Jeff Perkins recently, it reminded me of getting a name check in this jingle by Jeff a couple of years ago. The Bishop and Bear podcast can be heard on Patreon, and he's put a link to Patreon. Well done, Matt, and thank you very much indeed.
So what were your thoughts on yesterday? I'm interested.
Not really so much yesterday. They were awesome yesterday, but the 2 at the top of the order aren't necessarily brilliant at T20 cricket. In fact, you'd probably say they were both quite average.
Well, really? You think that?
Yeah, I think you can say that with a reasonable degree of certainty. Nawaz into the attack, bowls a dart, a little bit short, turned into the leg side out to deep mid wicket for a single by Will Jacks, bringing Duckett back onto strike.
Yeah, well, at this point, and you know he's a big Pakistan supporter, is that they just go too slowly. But that's a problem, isn't it? If you've only got 120 balls. But neither of them strike at over 130, and that should be the kind of.
But they hunted down 200 yesterday, and it was the 2 openers that went harder from the top. Well, it was poor,
and also like that because they do it once every 15 games.
Yeah.
As Nawaz is in, and Duckett turns into the leg side and runs through for a single. Because they do it once in 15 games doesn't make it successful. They had trouble at the Asia Cup because they batted like this. They had trouble in the first game against England because they batted like this. They had trouble at the World Cup eventually because they batted like that. It's
you're right. I've just seen it happen twice with those 2, and you just think they do it all the time. But of course, I'm pretty lucky to have seen it twice, I suppose, and all the games in between, they've done fuck all.
Jax takes a single down to long on, plays it very wristily off the back foot. They're good players. I think they could, as they showed yesterday, they could play a more optimal way. The way they normally play doesn't do their talent justice. Is probably what I'd say.
Yeah.
Nawaz comes in. It's a dart. It's short. Duckett liked the look of it. I think it held up in the pitch, and so he slash across the line, will only net him 1. As the ball trickles very slowly out towards the fielder at deep mid wicket.
This is the pitch in the first game, isn't it? Am I right?
Yeah.
Which means it looked beautiful, but didn't necessarily play that way for a lot of the game, as I recall.
Yeah,
how do they make it so shiny? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Nawaz comes in. It's his darts. I'm going to stop calling them darts, I think, after this. But it's another single to Will Jacks.
That's what they
turned
are.
out towards deep mid wicket.
There's hardly any grass on it. It's basically rolled mud. I think that might be how they get it so shiny. They just get really compact and hard.
No, Mr.
And then
Sheen.
someone gets
then.
a chamois out at the end.
Yeah. Bit of Mr. Sheen and a chamois.
Noaz to finish off the 8th over of the innings, and it will be another singles. I think that's an over of singles for the England team as Ben Duckett turns it behind square on the leg side and scampers through.
Rabinair
7 for 2.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Rabinair says Jack would rob a bank by telling them they're a collection of misfits. Messi by making bad cricket predictions until they went mad, and Hendo by being so pessimistic they gave up the will to live. Brian Barish says also congrats to the Great Britain on making next year's World Baseball Championship. Lord, not World Series, which of course is only played in one country. World Baseball Championship. I'm going to start a
World Baseball
GoFundMe.
Classic.
Yes, I'm going to start a GoFundMe so that Guerrilla Cricket can cover Great Britain's games, because I'd love to hear the Bear, Hendo and Tony try to describe a 94-mile-an-hour split-fingered fastball.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
We'd give that a go.
That's not that.
Yeah, I'd give that a go if you want to raise money for it.
I'll tell you what, Brian, if you can get us on, we'll give it a crack.
Usman Kadir will continue, and Duckett gets out that excellent reverse sweep of his. He hits it very, very square. It whistles into the rope, and it will be 4 runs.
Yeah, it's a lovely
shot. It's the full reverse, isn't it? Like he becomes a right-hander.
Yes.
Where his hands are. So it's not his right leg, as it were, going down the wicket and then manoeuvring around it. He does the full 180. Conventional sweep this time, hit very hard again, but that's going to find a fielder out on the rope. It had the legs to make it before, but not the placement that time. Just a 1.
Yeah, you're right.
Another sweep though. You
Yes,
did say
it
he's
was
going to
another
sweep most balls, didn't he?
He properly turns around, doesn't he?
Yeah, Kadir tosses the ball from one hand to the other, places it delicately in his fingers, and then comes into bowl. It's a sweep from Will Jacks this time, and he has, unfortunately for England, found the man at deep mid-wicket, caught shoelace high by the bloke out on the fence, and England have lost their 3rd wicket. It is 82 for 3. Jacks departs 40 of 22. It's a good innings on debut for the opener.
Strike rate nearly up at 200 as well, so he's done himself no harm. It's a shame. It was struck pretty well. But,
it's very well taken.
Yeah, it was well taken. Didn't have to move very far though, did he? Just to make sure he lined it up.
Hope Alex Hales was watching.
Yeah.
Getting a few tips. Here's a nice tweet, by the way, while we wait for Will Jacks' replacement to come on. Carl Churgwin says, are you always on air, Guerrilla Cricket, even when a game's not happening? Absolutely love your commentary.
We are. We're live, and then when we're not live, we play highlights of, if we're like, for now we'll play the highlights of this T20 until we're back on air. But when the series ends, we'll play all 7 T20s. We'll rotate round on a player.
If you become a Patreon, then you'll get a weekly podcast.
Exactly.
All kinds of guests in the Bishop and Bear pub.
And access to the archives. You can listen to
Access
any
to the
match
archive.
that we've ever recorded.
Oral jingles available. Yeah, a whole bunch of fantastic things. GuerrillaCricket.com and then /Patreon, or patreon.com/GuerrillaCricket. If you go to our website, you can just scroll down and find all the details you need.
It'll be Harry Brook,
the
next man in.
Quite a strong middle order England have got, really, yeah. And it's not even the one that's going to the World Cup. Give him a ball and then I'll find his jingle.
Is the GPL open, by the way? Or is it closed now?
It's closing in a minute.
Oh, right. That's what you want to tell people
He
quickly.
pokes forward and defends the first ball.
GPL closes in a minute.
Sorry.
Well, that's told.
Sorry, well, I think it's just closed, in fact. We forgot to mention it. We had 8 entries, so that's good. Some people were on it. 363 up to 413 today. I see you. You're in there. I see you, Hopey. You're going for the big bucks.
What's Jack got?
Are you going to commentate that ball, or have you lost the feed?
I think we've lost him.
No, I've lost. My feed's just dropped out.
Yeah, you have as well a few times.
Yeah, that was just swept straight to the man on 45 for no run by Duckett. Are you back, or do you want me to carry on? I bet carry on. That was swept out to deep square, deep mid wicket this time by Duckett. He moves on to 18 off 10, and we'll retain the strike. Are you all right over there?
The stream has gone bad, but I think it's on my end.
Yeah, you've been coming and going for us here. Ravi says, didn't Gary Naylor 909 last year describe Harris Ralph's wobble as being like a man trying to change the cables on an 80s audio system? Did he?
He might have done.
He might have done, you just never know, do you? Let me see. Warren had already read the one about the PCB have stolen the idea from Guru Towers of pedal power. Jay Grover says, I'd be far happier pissed on a train than a boat, but then again, there might be the chance of meeting Michael Portillo. O'Neill Harris says, and there you have it, Bear. Jack would make a terrible son-in-law. Oh, it's a bit harsh. Is that something you've been considering? Is there something you need to tell me?
No.
Oh, God.
Attempted sweep by Duckett, missed it. There was a big appeal from Nawaz for LBW, but it pitched outside leg. May well have hit him outside leg. Let me know when you're back and you can see stuff.
I mean, I can see this now, so let's try this ball.
Okay.
If it goes wrong, I'll just call it a day 5 balls early. We had to have a pause there for the DRS timer to tick down because of that appeal, which is ridiculous. As Nawaz comes through, it's full, it's driven by Duckett, who loses his shape slightly, but will pick up a single to deep extra cover. And I can see the ball again, which is good news.
So, oh God, do they have to wait for the DRS timer every time there's an appeal, even if they just can't be asked to even think about a DRS?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's annoying. Yeah.
You are back on social duties for the last session of the first innings, Jack. Had you tweaked that one? Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
So that's lucky you mentioned it.
Well, that's why I thought I better had.
Nawaz in a little short into Brooks' crotch area. He misses it, but I think the ball misses the family jewels. It will drop into the pitch. There's no run.
I need my phone. I think I can do it on this. Where do we reckon the score's going to get to?
Down the pitch from Brook. He drives, a non-drive, down to the fielder at long on. Who fields, returns the ball to the bowler. Another single. So England's rate being checked slightly in the last couple of overs. 86 for 3 at this point in time. Maybe a slight period of consolidation before they go hard again in the last 7 or 8. So Nawaz twirls the ball in his left hand, comes in past the umpire wearing green boots, sends one down the leg side, and Duckett will pick up 2. It's going to be very tight. The dive. The bails are flashing, but I think he's just made it. There's a little bit of hesitation from Brook. I wonder if that went to the bowler's end, whether there could have been trouble. As it happens, obviously it didn't, and I think Duckett is pretty safe.
I'm going over 181.5
for the team score.
Yeah, that sounds eminently doable, doesn't it? They haven't got halfway yet, and they're on 84.5.
He did well to ground his bat, Jack, I think, when you look at the replay there.
It was an excellent dive.
It was.
Really top. One of the best dives I've seen, I think. Certainly in the Pantheon. Duckett taps his bat. That's the last ball of our little spell together. One more to go to the 10th. England are on at 88 for 3. Can they add any more? One more. As Duckett tickles the ball towards mid-wicket, and they run through for a single. So there will be a drinks break now, which gives whoever's coming in a little bit of time to manoeuvre themselves into a chair and read some tweets.
It's us 3 back on again after this then, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, just doing slightly different responsibilities. Messers, you could pick up with Jay Grover 17 minutes ago. Skip Leah, not because she isn't worth talking about, but I read hers early because it was very topical at the time. And then if that makes sense.
So Jay says apparently many fishermen can't be bothered to learn how to swim for this very reason. If they fall overboard, they're fucked anyhow. Leah says, oh no, we've done that. Yes, as you say. Ravi says Jack clearly approves of the behaviour in A Clockwork Orange. It's clearly the only thing he thinks is cool from the 70s. He's missed bell bottoms, obviously, and Quiche Lorraine, and the creation of Bangladesh. That's a very eclectic mix, I've got to say, Rav.
Quiche Lorraine's good, bell bottoms no. And obviously Bangladeshi people.
They were fantastic at the time, though. We thought they were great.
What, bell bottoms?
Yes.
They make their way back, but generally the ladies wear them now.
the ladies listen to you. You're an old-fashioned fella at heart, aren't you?
Bell-bottom blues, wasn't that bell-bottom blue? Eric Clapton, wasn't that Eric Clapton in his Cream days? Bell-bottom blues.
Could be. I don't recall that as a Cream number. Brian 001's back. Oh, Brian, I had a bottle of your wine today. Thank you very much, mate. It was delicious. Afternoon all from Northampton. Back here to partial sunshine and cooler temperatures after our French excursion. I'm in my local bar, Beer Gorilla, which means I'm looking at and listening to gorillas. Oh, he's got a beer mat with gorilla on it. That's fantastic. He sent a photo of that. That's the perfect beer mat, apart from the fact it's got too many L's in it, but never mind. Sorry, too many R's in it for us, but never mind. Where are we? Leah says Jack sounds pretty smug about his knowledge of music for someone that definitely doesn't get the joke in the NCN jingle.
Bell-bottom blues, by the way, was Derek and the Dominoes, which of course was Eric Clapton, but it was under their
but
name
it wasn't
at the
Cream.
time.
And Sir Ditch Boltby, I didn't know Ditch had given himself a knighthood. That's pretty good. Said, thought Pakistan missed a trick last night, failing to lose any wickets, depriving flood relief victims of much needed funds. I thought there was
they get funds every time they hit six. Exactly, they hit quite a few of them. So Moeen hit 5 on his own, didn't he?
Yeah, Moeen was batted beautifully, I thought. Leah says technically there are 2 potential nations in the World Series, Tony. Toronto actually won it twice. Good point. And Brian says, Ray, the swimming debate. Back in my Air Force days, we had to prove we could swim 25 metres in our working overalls after jumping off the 10-metre high diving board. I can say it seemed an eternity coming up for air after the jump. I think you're all missing the point of swimming. It's actually not for survival. It's actually fun swimming.
What it is. That's what I mean. It's a life skill, though. It's kind of like...
It is, but it's much more than that. If you're only learning to swim to survive, then you're missing the point.
Well,
really.
no, I mean, it's good exercise too, admittedly, but...
I'm not sure I fancy they're doing it in those sort of frozen water, though, that, you know, these crazy extreme swimmers go into sort of like -2 degrees of water. Well, wouldn't fancy that.
There is that.
Although that would be ice, technically, wouldn't it? But there we go.
It doesn't actually get freezing. It gets very
but
close.
I know what I meant.
Well, no, seawater takes to -4 normally to freeze, so there you go.
No, that's true, actually, yeah, of course it is. Salt water, isn't it? Duckett is going to face up as we come back from the drinks break to Usman Qadir, and once again he sweeps. This time it bounces on him a little bit off the pitch and turned a bit sharper than normal. Got the top edge, but didn't quite carry down to backward square. They're going to get themselves a single, and they're going to move on to 90 for 3. Definitely 200 on again tonight. The question is, I think England have got a much better bowling attack today. I think it looks more balanced with Reece Topley back and Woody back.
It is going to be very interesting to see how Wood goes.
Yeah, and Topley is the top of the left armers for me.
What did we say? Hasn't played since...
driven out to cover and there's no run. Hasn't
the West
played
Indies,
till
has he?
the West Indies, second test of the West Indies.
What was that, February?
March
February
8th to 12th. I can remember that.
Oh, well,
on the track comes Brooke, smashes it over the top of the bowler's head. Made it just into where the crowd are. It's one of these. It's a grand for the flood relief. Lovely shot. And certainly some players in here have put themselves in contention for should dropouts happen. None of them have done themselves bad. In the middle order, Duckett's look good, Brooks look good. Will Jackson's played all right today. Hales, I presume, is the next cab off the rank for the opening spot. Presumably, that could. Oh, he's in the squad, isn't he? That's driven out into deep cover by Brooke. Gets himself another single. Brings Duckett back on strike. But Brooke is already in the squad, I suppose. Holds his bat very high, doesn't it? Right, up, almost golf-like. Bringing it down. Same as Duckett, he sweeps yet again. Jack's right, all he does is sweep. It's quite effective against spinners, though. Sweeps it, doesn't get all of it, but sweeps it out to deep square leg. I suppose if no one's in the infield, unless you pick out the fielder in the deep with a miss hit, it's actually quite a safe shot. Look at Brooks hitting that 6 again. A couple of quick steps down the track. and hit it very straight, got right to the pitch of the ball. Great shot. He's done it again. Usman Kadir's tried to fox him with it, throwing it up. Saw him coming, he maybe left a little bit early, threw it wide, but that fox Brook, who then slammed it over extra cover into the crowd for yet another maximum.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
Brook moves off to onto 15 off 7. He's scoring rate up pretty quick. Would have been a wide and he missed it. Could have been stumped off it, but got his hands through the ball, lifted it up, and certainly got enough of it to land it in the crowd. It's 2 sixes off the over. Good over so far. Well, end of the over, in fact. 104 for 3 after 11. Over to you, Messi.
Farang says, nice innings from Jax. Playing BPL for Chattagong last season must have given him some insight in playing on lifeless pitches. Bangladesh women are 9 for 17 in the 4th over against Thailand. The winner qualifies for the T20 World Cup in 2023 in South Africa and a place in the tournament final against Ireland.
Next ball is a dart, so it's Nawaz is back, and he gets swept down to deep back to square leg, and it will be a single. I was going to say something then and I can't remember exactly what it was. What were you talking about before that? I can't remember.
The Women's World Cup in 2023?
No, it was before. It was before that. God, I've got short-term memory loss. Brook is facing up. 15 off 7. It's another dart into the pitch, was turned into the onside by Brook. Won't get 2. Shah is out there. Now, what is the currency in
rupees? It is rupees.
It is rupees.
It is
50,000 rupees for every wicket KFC will donate towards the fund. What's 50,000 rupees there?
About $600, I think.
Is it about $600? Okay.
Oh.
Top edge as another swept by Duckett. Goes over the top of Rizwan though, and straight behind him for yet another 4. One of the safest shots in the book, that one. Top edge, straight over the keeper. No one down there.
Going for the sweep again, though.
Yeah, going for
it was
the
a reverse
sweep
sweep that time, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was a normal sweep. He's left-handed, too.
Oh, of course he is.
29 off 18, Duckett. Sweeps again. Gets hold of it this time. It's square. I don't think the fielder's going to get around. He isn't. That's poor from the fielder, has to be said. Set off quite slowly. And can get going. It's 4. It's just a relentless sweep, isn't it, Duckett? Sweep, sweep, sweep. It's not a bad ploy against spinners, though. You know.
It's doing the job.
It is doing the job.
Possibly rather laboured piece of fielding down
there.
there.
It was. He set off too slow.
Not quite as laboured as we've seen Alex Hales being in the first 2 games.
No. 10 off the first 4 balls. 6 off the last 12 off the last 3 balls of the last over. Current score, they'll get to 195 if they carrying on. Could get over 200 again as that's just worked into the leg side. Dabbed this time. It wasn't a sweep shot, my God. From Ben Duckett. Gets himself down the other end for a single. One ball left in the 12th over. 115 for 3. Brook 16 off 8 and Duckett 34 off 20. Down the track comes Brook. Nawaz sees him coming, darts it in towards his pads, but he just clips it out to wide, deep mid wicket. He throws it in, bounces off Rizwan's pads, but they will get a single. Over to Tony.
Over to Messers.
Messers even.
Faizan Khan says, can Usman Kadir ever be as good as his father, or does the poor lad just not have it in him? Madan Mohan Sharma is with us. Hello. Says, good evening, Guerrilla Cricket. In the second match, why did England bat first after winning the toss? It's obvious that chasing a target is very easy in this part. I'm not sure about easy. Today they lost the toss and they're struggling to get a decent total. It's...
I'm not struggling to get a decent total
try
here.
Themselves out. Yeah.
I mean,
but I think they wanted to try it out as well.
Yeah,
because
I think there was more than
face
anything they wanted to try it out. And look, if you get 200 on the board, more often than not, you should win. I mean, they didn't bowl particularly well. They didn't field particularly well. Dropped crucial catches. I mean, the point is that Babar and Rizwan are very good at not getting out and scoring runs, whether they score quick enough. A problem at times, as that one is just dabbed straight too short third man. Duckett was herring off straight away, and Brooks set off. Throw came into the keeper, but Duckett was already there. Yeah, get themselves a single.
Go back to that question about Usman fairly quickly. Before this series, he had 29 T20 international wickets at 17, economy rate of 7.5. So that's not bad. You can add 2 more wickets to that, can't you? But slightly worsening of his economy rate.
That's a full toss. Kind of gets what it deserves. As Duckett pulls that one, really. Off the front foot, it's kind of like a sweep.
Did the job.
But the ball was aerial, so he didn't have to sweep it off the pitch. Instead, he just pulled it down to deep backward square leg and gets himself 4 more runs.
2 + 2 is on man.
Score moves on to 121. England looking on for 200 plus here. That one is cut again, this time by Duckett. There's no one in the infield for Pakistan, but deep cover comes to the boundary quick enough to stop the 2, which is also what they did yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, they hit those ones with just the amount of pace that the guy coming off the boundary allowed them to get back for a second. We've got 31 minutes remaining. This is why the Droogs are out on the boundary, I think, because they're not going to do it.
What's the penalty?
I don't know. Brooks clips that out to deep mid-wicket, and they'll get a single.
Haven't they now brought in the thing where you've got to put more men inside the circle if you don't make it on time?
Yes, they do, and they're going to extend that to ODI cricket as part of the new set of regulations that the ICC committee has just approved.
Right.
That'll be interesting. Tossed up, swept, funny enough.
I think it's a good way of doing it.
Out to deep mid-wicket, and they'll get a single. Yeah, it means that there could be some very good scoring opportunities, especially at the end of ODIs. I mean, often they can go 20-30 minutes over, so what's that, the last 3 or 4 overs you're slowly losing fielders from having 5 down to possibly 3 by the end of the game.
Now, if you're a patron, I should tell people, there'll be a full breakdown of those new laws and conditions of the game in this week's Maximum.
Well, that was a horrible ball from Usman Khadir. He dragged it down, his leg stump would have been a wide, but Harry Brook let down, swept past the man, short on the 45 on the edge of the circle, no one behind him, and it makes itself down to the boundary for 4 runs.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Just a drag down, leg side.
But this is what we've been saying about Khadir all the way along.
Yeah, he's a bit inconsistent.
Some balls are magic, but every over there'll be a couple that are whatever the diametrical opposite of magic is.
Well,
terrible.
He's not as good as his dad.
Pies. So on that basis, although his figures stack up rather well, I don't think he has the consistency of his dad.
No.
Whether that will come, I don't know. We've already said
Well,
he's not as young as you think.
No, exactly. He's
but
but
a slower bowler
yeah,
has a longer shelf life. Remember?
Yeah, true.
Jay Grover says, in my ongoing paranoid fantasy, Ray, Jeremy Henderson stroke Derek Grover, parallel lives. I'd never heard of Derek Grover. I've seen photos of them both with long hair, beards and bell-bottoms in the 70s. Ignore hair, height and hair colour, and it's uncanny. Who the hell's Derek Grover?
No idea. Is that Jay Grover's dad?
Oh, obviously. Obviously. What a dumbass I am sometimes. O'Neill Harris says, it's a heat off in Grillitars. Everyone looks like they're cold.
Well, if the heat's not on, it's a funny old day. When the sun's out, it's beautiful. When the sun's in, you suddenly go, ooh.
It's a little bit of a nip.
Yeah.
It's getting towards the end of September, isn't it? Harris Ralph back into attack. Went for 8 off his first over.
Oh.
First ball of his second over is driven out to the man on deep cover. And it'll be a single. England 129 for 3 off 13.1. Still got 7 wickets in hand and 7 overs to go. It's going to lose a wicket and over. Try and smash it around the park. And might get through to the end. But these two look reasonably settled and reasonably good. And this pitch is easy to score on, though, I have to say. There's nothing in it. There's not a lot of spin.
But it held up quite a bit on the first game, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's not doing, it doesn't do anything off the... I mean, this is it. You have to rely on trying to do something with your paces, really, though. I mean, there's no movement. There's no swing. Well, now, Brooke has hit that high. Has he hit it long? Yeah, he's hit it long enough. It's gone over deep backward square leg, and it's going to be 6 runs. Series 6 is 27, so that's 27 grand they've got to puff out at the moment. For the
well, that's for an amazing cause.
Aid, it is for a good cause.
Oh, you were going to get hold of Atif as well to get him to record another message.
Oh yeah, I was. Well, he was supposed to do it on the day he did the other one, but he hasn't. Maybe I'll try him over the weekend.
Yeah.
Brooke facing up, 29 off 13. Christ, it's going some guns, isn't it? And drops that one out in the offside, and there will be just a single.
Warren says, to be fair to Hales, things seem to slow down when you're on grass.
Very good. Partnership's over 50 now, 53. It's been going very well, these two.
Yeah, they have indeed.
Yeah. You do sense Brooke is in the England setup for the long haul, from all evidence so far in both formats, really.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he cements himself. I mean, he'll get his first chance in the Test series when he. Oh, he's had a go. Presumably he gets to go out to Pakistan, as that one is just played out into the onside by Duckett. Or his legs, is that his 50? No. Can't, can it?
Not yet.
Well, it's interesting they didn't pick him for the World Cup or as one of the 3 standby players for the World Cup either, though.
Who?
Brooke.
No, Brooke's in the World Cup squad.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, he is too. Yeah, nice. Sorry, I'm entirely missing. I beg your pardon. So,
is that news not filtered down to Perth yet?
Yeah. Harris Ralph is in. Smashed. Oh no, Q ended. Not smashed. Back down towards long on by Harry Brooke. Trying to free up and give it some Humpty. Mistimes it completely, but he gave himself a single. He's on 31 off 15. Duckett 42 off 25. Could be on for, well, let's see. At the current rate, be about 210 to 11. As Duckett faces up to Harris Ralph. Last ball of his second over. Good chance to give himself some room. Jabs his bat on it and gets it out square on the offside towards the boundary. Man comes in, fields it, single, over to Messi.
Brown Barris says justice for Thailand, hopefully, who were absolutely screwed by the ICC for making the 2022 World Cup because their qualification tournament got cancelled due to COVID, and Ireland got in because of historical rankings. They would have missed it at Thailand's expense otherwise. The Thai team were fantastic when they were here in Australia, the World Cup qualifying. They were just so.
Aren't they just playing Bangladesh? Did I dream that, or was that?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Bangladesh are 49 for 1 after 8 overs.
Okay. And that's in Dhaka, is it?
Yes, I think so. No, it's in Abu Dhabi.
Ah, right. Okay.
43 for 1 after 8 over Bangladesh.
Hasnain is in. Oh my word! What was that? Duckett's gone right across his stumps. I think Hasnain saw him coming, so he's pushed it full and wide, and it's kind of like a little dainty flick off his pads because he's gone way too far across. Got himself in a little bit of trouble. Tried to ramp it. Realised he's had to go further across because obviously Hasnain seen him coming, so he shoved it even further across. And he's managed to adjust his hands enough to just dink it very fine down to fine leg for 4 runs. That's an incredible shot on the fly.
Now on the
my name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
Hasnain in, second ball of the over is just worked straight to mid wicket. I'll get through for a single. What are you going to say, Taylor?
Well, under the new rules, is that going to be a legal A ball and B shot?
Well, why not?
Well, because he was right off the cut strip, and I'm not entirely sure that's going to be allowed when you look at the new regulations.
Why? What did he say?
Well, you might have to try and have a look for you. Give me a moment.
You might have to explain that. I don't see how you can suddenly call that not a shot.
Well, hold on. Bear with me, caller.
And therefore, I mean, that's insane. That'll just fuck games up. What, you're going to start going, well, you have to bowl that ball again then? Full into the pads of Brook, who clips it out through mid-wicket. And there'll be a single. But you have to let the player do whatever the player does, and the umpire has to make the judgment on the field whether as to it's a wide.
Striker's right to play the ball. This is restricted so as to require some part of their bat or person to remain within the pitch. Should they venture beyond that, the umpire will call and signal a dead ball. Any ball which would force the batter to leave the pitch will also be called no ball.
Well,
so that would effectively make that a no ball.
No, I don't think so, because the pitch must be, and at the point of contact, it must be outside the cut strip, right?
Yeah.
And the cut
the
strip
bat
is
was
quite
still
wide.
over the pitch when he played
exactly.
Okay, all right then.
Yeah, it would have to be an enormously wide ball. That ball was just played into mid-wicket just clipped off his pads by Duckett. Mid-wicket's up, sensible. And there's a single. He moves on to 49. Didn't you get a 50 the other day as well? It's gonna be.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
Is our friend Ben.
Circular tubular deep cycle premium. Don't know what that is.
No, he got 43 the other day. 21 in the first game. 43 off 22 in the second.
Brook facing up. 32 off 16. That's going to be a wide down the leg side. Give that a little tune. Wide. Yeah, I mean, I can't see any. I can't see a particular instance where that will actually get used. That new rule.
It's like when the ball double bounces, so it's a no ball, but is well off the strip, and somebody walks across and hits it for 6.
Oh right. Well, yeah, that's about the only scenario, isn't it? Lovely shot by Brook. Guides that backward a point. Square of the man who's quite fine at third man. Gets himself 4 more. Now today I'm going to go under for the full of the first wicket for Pakistan if England get 200. And if the same thing happens as yesterday, well, I don't know what I'll do.
You'll be fucked.
But I expect Topley usually gets wickets at the top. He's good. Hasnain into the pads once again of Harry Brook. He clips that sweetly, but straight down to long leg. He'll get himself a single. So we reckon it's about 28 degrees. Dew point seems quite low compared to what the temperature is. So they haven't had any dew. He certainly said there was no dew yesterday. It didn't affect the way that the surface played. And the ball didn't get wet, so it's a good thing.
Messers. Oh, it should be Jack actually. We're waiting for Jack to return.
Oh, is that in the 15th over?
Yeah, it is indeed. If Jack reappears.
Farong is next, Jack.
Perfect. 152 for 3. We do have a drinks break, so if you're up to speed and ready, Jack, you can slide in as many messages as you like.
Yes, I could.
While you look,
the first condition was met.
That's fine, Jack. Don't you worry.
Well, you've lost me there. Right. Well, don't forget, toss was won by Pakistan. Babar Azam invited England to bat after they'd cruised to that win when England batted first in the second of the games. This pitch is the pitch from the first game, however, of course, which England had won. Remember, they won the first game by 6 wickets, Pakistan the second by 10. Dahani, a man who's sort of vaguely resembles a toucan, is going to be taking up the attack.
He does have the most enormous nose.
And he's right arm over to Brook, who pulls hard, just gets it past mid-wicket, might go all the way, and should be, just fielded inside the fence. They take 2. England will move on to 154 for 3. Duckett poised He will be hoping for his first 50. England will be hoping for a 50. Harry Brook 39. He's been remarkably consistent thus far.
Still going
42 and 31 is 2 scores.
Still going on over that strike rate of 200 as well.
Yeah, it's been a decent effort from this. Brook, of course, just joined for the Joburg Super Kings. Joburg Super Kings. Dahani, in he comes. Down the track comes Brook. But he doesn't really get hold of it, and Dahani, quick about his work, puts in a throw, and Brook has to turn around sharply.
How many?
Which he duly does.
How many teams are in that thing?
Is it
8?
6? Jack will know. He's got his
6 or
finger
8
on
down
the
in South
global
Africa?
franchise pulse.
In the South African one?
Yeah.
6.
6, yeah.
And
I
have
think
they
it was
all
6.
been bought by IPL teams?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So you
yeah.
literally, they all have the same names, effectively.
Wow.
And assumingly the same colour schemes. And I think, Jack, I'm right in saying in almost every case the same sort of marquee South African player. Am I right?
No.
As we wait for Dahani. Oh, guided beautifully, where a first slip would have been. Dahani does a double teapot, but it just had enough width and was gorgeously stroked away by Brook for one of these. I thought the key player, though, for example, the Super Kings will be Faf du Plessis, for example. I thought there was a consistent factor for every Indian team.
Some of the overseas are the same. So Butler's at the Royals, for example.
Yes.
But I think like Rabada's at Mumbai, or the Mumbai version of Faf. I am not sure who he's with.
He's definitely.
I don't think RCB are in the. They're not one of the 6.
Dahani, in he comes, and that is wide and slower and slightly foxes Brook, who was a little bit discombobulated by that. Smart bit of bowling.
Both these players have played the PSL as well, haven't they?
They have. Ben Duckett has played for Islamabad United and the Quetta Gladiators, who I think play here in Karachi. I'm not sure about Brook, though. I don't think he has.
I saw the other day that Brook had played. I was checking it out. Players who played in the PSL.
In comes Dahani again. This one's fetched massively and mightily high over mid-wicket for the full amount.
2, 4, 6.
So we have both batsmen now on 49. Dahani, to me, Jax, just looked a little bit better when he's bowled it slightly fuller. As soon as he offers slightly shorter or a bit of width, he's looked a little bit hittable to me.
Well, I'm not sure he really knows where it's going.
What they did yesterday was they bowled a lot of slower balls that seemed to really work, kind of foxed England a bit, especially when they struggle for a tiny bit in the middle.
Well, it's 164 for 3. We're 1 ball left of the 16th over, which is being bowled by Dahani. Number 39 for him, so he's been a shade expensive. Well over 10, current run rate of 10.3 as Dahani is in past Aleem Dar, and this stroked magnificently past cover.
Wow.
Past point rather, by Brook. He's the first to get to his 50. He's on 53, and England move on to 168 for 3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
50, 50, 50. Pretty nifty on a bowler's pitch.
Fine effort, 168 for 3.
There's an England supporter.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
There's been a couple.
You
Jack,
can,
who's with us?
You can really get the AB de Villiers comparison with Brook, can't you, when he plays like this? For wrong. So India and Australia are going to play a Super 48 match, 48 balls per innings, not even 100 for the match. Must make Tata happy and keep the Indian bookies happy too. I guess there's some rain there because it's not being played at the moment as it was supposed to earlier, so I suppose that's what that's alluding to. Jay Rover, I do like the fact that my father's real name throws messes into confusion. He's like a Beano character now, The Adventures of Midar. Jeff Perkins says, I thought Gorilla Towers relied on the metabolisation of alcohol for its heating.
Well,
there's a few people
certainly
talking about
contributes.
Yeah, well, it certainly doesn't. In my book.
It's not the most social form of heating, let's put it that way. Brook, I beg your pardon. Duckett has a swing and a miss to this first ball of the 3rd over of Harris Ralph. Wide of his off stump. Through it goes to Rizwan.
Man, when I went over 181.5, they offered me 2-1 to go over 191. I thought, oh, that might be a little bit stretched too far, but we're going to walk that.
Harris Ralph, 28. Played for from Rawalpindi, Balochistan, Melbourne Stars, Lahore Qalandars. He's got on his CV. He's played 5 versus England, 6 wickets at 33 in this format, as this one's dabbed away into the onside by Duckett. And that should bring up his 50. Indeed it does. After some big hitting.
With your 50.
And this partnership has been absolutely key for England. Duckett on 50, Brook on 53. The partnership 87. A couple of starts here and there for England, but nothing that's really gone on. Salt again not convincing. I know Hendo's not a Salt fan. Milan not massively convincing. Who else have we lost?
Will Jacks.
Will Jacks, who was looking very much the part.
Yeah, he got 40 off 21.
Yeah, he was looking terrific. But these two have done a fine job together. 169 for 3, wickets in hand, shade under 4 overs left. They should be looking at 200. Harris Ralph has speared that away down leg. It's a horrible ball. Rizwan couldn't get there. It's fielded down at long leg, but it will be wides and runs. So that should have been 2 wides, I think.
Wide.
And it takes England on to 171 for 3. Lost his radar horribly, Bear.
Yeah, he did.
What's the over/under on 220?
They're not offering that anymore now. It's basically the line is all they're offering, which is 215.5.
Well, Rizwan seeing the funny side of something.
How mad that ball was.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it was. He was a bit surprised by it.
These two teams, they seem to get on all right. There's enough players played in the PSL. There seems to be good camaraderie between them.
None for 22 for Harris Ralph. He's bowling from the university end of this national stadium at Karachi, on the coast of the Arabian Sea. He's in and to Duckett, who swings and misses, trying to pull him away to square leg, but he gets a leg by, signalled as such by the umpire, who I think is the umpire that is... Who is the umpire?
No idea.
I can tell you who it was. It was Faisal Afridi, 44-year-old former fast bowler for the Khan Research Labs and the Agricultural Development Bank.
Nice.
Yeah. Whether he worked for them as well as played for them, I don't know. Harris Ralph in again. Oh, hello. That is extraordinary. There's a huge attack. They're going for a catch, aren't they? No. Poor old... Is Brook all right? Well, first of all, Brook had an enormous swing. Fine. The ball has lodged in the visor of his helmet. He's got his helmet off. He seems to be enjoying it, having a bit of a laugh. It did its job. Harris Ralph is all smiles. Mohammed Rizwan is chuckling and thinks it's probably one of the funniest things he's ever seen. It was short. He just played it, and then he got a sort of a bat handle onto it. He's looking around to see where it was, and the ball is actually stuck under his nose, wedged into his visor. He's looking around to see where the ball went.
Could have just run up and down there, couldn't they? Could have got 50.
well, with them chasing around like a Benny Hill movie.
But then, did he get any bat on it? Because presumably,
no, I think it came off his arm, didn't it?
Whoa, yeah, it was. Everyone's enjoying the funny side of it.
It's I think it is actually a dead ball if it's lodged.
It is.
It
is.
But Rizwan wanted it. He was prepared to appeal for it.
He will, I think, though, need a replacement helmet, which will all take a little bit of a while. It's 172 for 3 for England. We've got 2 balls left of the 17th over. They'll be very happy with their work, but they'll have to bowl well, and of course they've made some changes with that in mind. You've got Topley in. You've got Harris Ralph is trying to prize it out of, as we said, the visor of Harry Brook. Who have we got? We've got Topley in. We've got
Topley and Wood.
Topley, Wood, Mark Wood. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Will won't open the bowling, will he? So it'll be good. He doesn't like open
and Will Jacks. They're the 3 changes for Alex Hales. Willie, who really hasn't bowled
very
particularly well. And for Luke Wood, who bowled well in the first game and found
so
life
well
was a bit
yesterday.
tougher in the second game. So England doing what they said they'd do, I think. There, rest, rotate, test,
Well,
try different
it makes
combinations.
sense, even though it's the wrong place to be testing people for Australia. I'd say you might as well just run through. I mean, this is it. You've got less than probably a third of your squad that are actually going to the
Well,
World
Harry
Cup
Brook's back
there.
and ready. In comes Harris Ralph. And Brook steps back and lofts him over extra cover quite superbly. 2-3 bounces into the sponge and 4 more. So Harris Ralph, after delivering a bouncer the last ball that got wedged in the visor of Brook via his arm, thought, well, I'll try a bit more. Didn't quite get the same lift on it, and Brook played that quite majestically away into the offside. Although quite a punt, it was a punchy element to it, wasn't it? It wasn't just completely free-flowing. Ralph in again, he follows Brook, who's moved away to leg. Brook, though, digs it out, nudges it really towards mid-on, but the fielders converge, but no one's positioned short, and it does get him 2 more, so he moves on to 59 off 27. Ben Duckett also on his 50, of course, 51 off 32. And England after 17 overs, 178 for 3. Jack?
O'Neill Harris is a double, back-to-back, a brace. I think Messi knew Brook was in the squad. He was just showing solidarity with Hendo, and then again, O'Neill.
Hendersons, they stick together, you see.
England chose a great time to go to Pakistan. When West Indies were there, it was 40 degrees. Say what you want about Caribbean weather, but it very rarely goes to 40 any time outside of a jerk pit there. Steve Kellett says that evening all, I can actually watch this to the bitter end tonight.
Oh, good. Who was that?
Steve with us.
Steve Kellett.
Steve, good.
Kellett.
Glad to have you with us, Stu.
Stuart Smith, I think we've got this one, lads. Well, I backed them anyway, and I backed Pakistan yesterday. Can I have a shout out for Bordeaux Cricket Club? We are hosting the Balbinians. Some old boys club. Balbinians old boys, 11. Tomorrow, probably in the rain.
Mohammed Hasnain is back into the attack, and he's been pulled first ball by Duckett, high over square leg for a maximum. And well done, Ben Duckett. That's $600 more, a few dollars more for the
$1,000.
Well, I think $600, wasn't it?
No, $600. KFC are offering 50,000, whatever the rupees, for a wicket. And
okay.
The bank people are offering $1,000 per 6.
Oh well, in that case, well done, Ben Duckett. Everyone.
Every 6 counts.
Every 6 counts. Where have I heard something like that before? Every run counts. I mean, it's cricket, for goodness sake. It's a stupid thing to say. Who would come up with a phrase like that? 184 for 3. Round the wicket comes Hasnain. Pulled again by Duckett. But this time there should be a man down there at the mid-wicket boundary. There is. It will restrict Duckett to 2. It'll take England on to 186 for 3. Could be, if they keep going, if they go at current rate, which is 10.73, they'd be on 215.
That's what you were saying.
They think that was a decent night's work, I think.
I think they would. It's 15 more than yesterday. What they made it with 4 balls to spare, they'd have to go like yesterday and even a little bit better.
Dasani was the fielder who did the slip in and sliding, but ultimately prevented the boundary on that occasion.
Think they can do it 2 days in a row? Don't know. Every ball counts, isn't that what 100 says?
Yes. Well, that's why I was getting grumpy about it, you see.
Old man.
In comes Hasnain. Pulled from outside his off stump by Duckett, but really only sort of guides it along the ground to long on. Gets a single, brings Harry Brook back onto strike, takes the score to 187. There's a young man. Who was this? One of the chaps who was described as extras from the Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, they're just wearing their whites, aren't they? They're probably the youth.
I think so.
The youth wing.
Yeah, the PAK from the PJL, which starts, if you wanted to know, on the 6th of October.
Oh, okay.
Some English players in it, aren't there?
I think there may well be.
There are.
Well, this you see, that encouraging as much experience as possible in overseas conditions is just something that you simply can't argue with it. It's a
overseas-
brilliant idea.
I don't know overseas conditions really apply to T20.
Hasnain, that's full and straight and swung in. Aline Dar wants nothing to do with it. It's an attempted pull away to leg and really squirted down towards third man. Hasnain thinks he probably should have worth an appeal. He did appeal. Pakistan have 2 reviews remaining and not much time to use them. But I think Barber thinks it would be a waste of time. Well, I'm not sure I agree with him.
I think Barber was quite up for it, but I think the bowler thought it was sliding down leg, and he was probably right.
We'll have a look.
Very much right.
Yes, he was. In fact, his foot was outside leg when he played the shot.
Yeah.
So I think Barber knows he's got 2 in the bank and wants to spend them.
We got two. I still 2 reviews in a
T20
is insane.
I completely. Well, yeah, I agree with you, 100%.
It's just unnecessary.
Well, slightly different lineup of the commentary team tonight. You've still got Butch, you've still got Wacky Yunus, but I don't think that's Wazim Akram with him. Is it? No. Hasnain has to stop in his run-up, and turns around, and will have to rinse and repeat. No reference to the enormous washing machine powered by the man on the sort of rowing machine.
No, it's not a rowing machine. They changed to a bike today.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Back foot crunch. Just a single though. Away into the offside. One more to the score though for England.
Did they
188 for 3. I thought they did.
I don't think they did. Duckett was on. Duckett. Yeah,
well, we'll have another look for you. Duckett struck it. Which
and then he
works nicely. But he was sent back, indeed. He
good
sent
backhanded
back.
Throw from the bowler though.
Yeah, it was. Very good.
Blind.
188 for 3. As a young gentleman shows us a Union Jack. Oh, that's kept down well by Duckett. It's pulled away. That's an extraordinary shot. It was quite short from Hasnain. It was right under the grill of Duckett, who just rolled his wrists on it, hauled it away with massively quick arms.
Yeah, because he
and it's
followed
4
him.
more.
He followed him.
He did follow him. Superb shot. Aerial for a fair bit. Hasnain looks fed up. He looks very young, doesn't he, young Hasnain?
Yeah.
How old is he? Do we know how old is Jack? You seem to have that information readily to hand. I found it actually. He's 22, so he is just a boy.
He is young, yeah.
Born in 2000.
Lord.
Proper millennial. Is that a millennial? Or that Gen Z?
It's played for Trinidad and sorry, go on.
You're a millennial.
It's not a millennial.
Yeah, that's Gen Z then.
I think I'm a young millennial. Or not. I'm not really sure.
192 for 3. 2 overs left of what's been a pretty decent effort for England. They'll want to look at 210, I think, from here. Dahani is the man who's into the attack, and he's been driven sweetly away through extra cover by Brook, who stepped back, steered it magnificently, and has got 4 more. He's played for Hyderabad, Sydney Thunder, the Quetta Gladiators, and the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders, and the Oval Invincibles.
Who? Gary Brook?
No, Hasnain. So
right.
In a comparatively short career, he's put himself around the circuit, as they say. That was a lovely shot from Brook. It was well worth watching several times. He played it magnificently. 196 for 3, 4 short of the total they achieved the other night. That's a horrible ball by Dahani on this occasion, signalled as wide by the umpire.
I mean, with 2 overs to go essentially on 197, they should be looking at 220 here, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I said 215, but I might have been cautious. We'll have to see how this comparatively young, by and large, attack can do. Umpire Afridi, isn't it?
I mean, it's phenomenal batting by Brooks. 63 of 29.
Yeah, he's been superb, quite superb, and well done Ben Duckett too. A man who, by his own admission, can fail to concentrate sometime. He's concentrated well tonight, and Brook has picked this up and not quite found the mid-wicket boundary because it's dropped just short of the fielder out there. They had to run. Rizwan collects the throw, takes it off the bails. I'm pretty sure Brook had scampered home and added 2 to his score. And England move on to 199 for 3. Harris Ralph was the fielder. In came the throw. Yeah, and Brook was practically past Rizwan when he whipped. He doesn't believe in just tickling the bails off, does he, Rizwan? He absolutely stumps them out.
I do like Rizwan.
You and many Sussex fans. He
Well, when
really
he-
endeared himself to
Well, he-
the Sussex
he
faithful.
totally- I mean, when he came in for that Test series, the first time we saw him was the first COVID Test series, wasn't it?
Mm.
Pakistan, and I just thought he looked awkward at the crease.
In comes Tahani. That's full, and it's launched back over his head. What a fantastic shot. It was really full. I think he was looking for the Yorker. And umpire Afridi raises both arms. It's 6 more to England score. 205 for 3 they move on to.
Oh, I say, chap, give me any lip.
Well.
He looks so good, doesn't he?
He does. He
He's
looks
but he's
fantastic.
powerful. He's stylish.
He's got all the shots.
He seems to. You can't. I'm not sure you could quite. Give him a label. He's not sort of sweet and flowing and fluid like a Gower. He's not
Dynamic.
all muscle. He's a lovely package of just about everything. This one's full, and as if to prove the point, he's timed that superbly. It was a full a Yorker wide of off stump, and Brooke just dropped the bat and angled it, and it went through third man for 4 more. Who's looking for admission there? Somebody, it must be someone who's on in the second.
Al Hotchkiss.
Second is Al, the
Albert.
Wizard of the Wirral, His Royal Alness. 209 for 3. 2 balls left for the 19th over.
Getting some here, isn't he? 60.
Dahani is 60, yeah. Well, maybe
He
be
could go to
making
72 here.
Willie, Peter Willie, and David Willie, and Moeen Ali feel a tad better. Dahani, what's he got? Full, and cut, but cut straight to backward point, and will only. In fact, I don't think he did. Yes, he did get a single. Takes England on to 210. 1 ball left of this over. Brooke has raced to 76 off 33, so he's been going at best to well over 2 a ball.
There's a
This is
ton on here
superb
if he
effort.
faces the last over.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Big pressure on him. Big pressure on him. Well,
It'd have
Duckett's the man on strike.
It'd been good
No.
to get to sort of 81, 82 at the end of this over, though, to get to really think about a ton. But I suppose he could have a crazy last over.
But I think Duckett's
Well, he's-
facing, isn't he?
yeah.
So he's going to, whatever happens, he's not going to face the last ball of this one.
24 off the last, that happens.
Dahani, none for 61. It's been a horrible day out for him so far. Hasn't got any better because Duckett has slapped him down towards long off. There's a man there, and it would just be a single. And rather unsportingly, Duckett, I think, has nicked the strike, and you're getting to a ton off the last over. Might be just a tad.
Yeah.
Or did they take 2 as the?
No, just one.
Oh, I
Just
thought
one.
they took 1. It's just the scoreboard. Scorers haven't caught up with it. 211 for 3. 1 over left of this fine England effort. Jack.
Jay Grover. When England went to Bangladesh, weren't there some kind of special dispensation for the fans to get beer out? I mean, Norcroft were there, for crying out loud. You're not telling me he was on the wagon for the entire series. Jay again, also RE previous comments I made, you can get booze in Pakistan at the posh hotels and cheap stuff which makes you blind anywhere. I'd blanch at £5 a pint, but I'd imagine that would be Elysian Fields for some of our southerners. Warren has tweeted a picture of Faisal Afridi looking like Steven Seagal.
Harris Ralph will bowl the final over, and he's bowled this one wide of Duckett's off stump.
I was in Berlin, you get a pint for €3.80.
Oh, that's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, and you can drink them till 6 in the morning.
I remember going to a big reception in Bahrain once, and it was interesting because it was largely locals, and all the drinks being served were soft drinks, but every expat or person from overseas who went to the reception in the hotel literally clanked as they walked, as we wait for Harris Ralph, and this is played into his toes by Duckett. Brooke is already 3/4 of the way down the track and got his strike back. Duckett somehow got a single out of that, and England have moved on to 212. Yes, so everybody who was a Brit or a non-local at this reception, you'd go and shake their hand, and as they moved they would literally clank because they had so many they'd basically taken everything from their minibar carried it, put it in all whatever pockets they had to take it to the reception, and then they were handed an orange juice. They'd surreptitiously turn the orange juice into something rather more spiked and interesting than just the plain orange juice. 212 for 3. 76 for Brook.
In the Pakistan dignitaries box, drinking a large red wine.
Are you sure it was a red wine though?
100%. It was in a wine glass. And it was red, so it must be wine. What else could it be?
Could be non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah, it could
You're
be.
allowed to do that?
I mean, that's.
Why would anyone drink that beer?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth, Jack. I've got to be honest.
Very true.
Harris Ralph. Busy run up he has, and that's been ramped supremely by Brook. That's going to go away down to long leg for 4 more.
My word.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
And young Harry Brook here is pulling out all the tricks he's learnt so far in his career, and it's an absolute joy to watch, I've got to say.
Has Harry Brook played in the IPL?
No.
No.
Do you think he has a good World Cup? He gets into the reckoning?
Well, I'd rather
Good
think
chance.
about what he can do for England, but yeah, there is a good chance. 216 for 3. 3 balls left. They've got my 215 bear. You were saying 220.
I was hoping for.
Harris Ralph. Down the track comes Brook, but he's followed and is speared into him. He's only able to work this away into the offside for a single and leave Ben Duckett the responsibility of trying to move England from 217 for 3 to what happens if you add 212 to that? 229.
449.
What? 449?
You had 239, sorry.
229, isn't it?
No, you asked for 212. 439.
No, I said, what if you add 12 to where England are now, which is at 217? So it'd be 229, wouldn't it?
That isn't what you said.
Oh, well, okay. I know what I meant. Ralph, over the wicket, pulled by Duckett from outside of his leg stump. They take 2 more. Good running, 219 for 3. What have we had? 4, 5, 6, 8 off this final Harris Ralph over. Wicketless for him so far, 37 runs. Not as expensive as poor old Dasani, who
Well,
got
that's not
a
bad
bit of a
in context
thumping.
of the game, is it?
No, it hasn't been. Reece Topley's going through his limbering up exercises. Who else can we see down there? Young Jordan Cox. He's not been given his opportunity yet. The man of Kent.
Those all just no, they're not all exercise bikes lined up down there, are they?
Last ball, assuming that there aren't any mishaps. Duckett will face it from Harris Ralph, who drops it short. Duckett plays it low past square leg. They will take 2. They should get back. They do. Rizwan gathers the throw. It means England have got themselves to 221 for 3. The last 30 balls have netted them 69 runs, 7 4s, 3 6s, and a run rate of over 13.8, which has been a sterling effort from Duckett and Brook. Their partnership worth 137 in 11.2 overs. It seems a long while ago, Bear, that Jax was out. Yeah, when was that? That was after
about 5 or 6 overs.
Yeah, it was indeed. So that's where England have finished, 221 for 3. Harry Brook 81, Duckett 69, both not out. They did lose Salt for 8, who fell to Hasnain. They lost Will Jacks, who made a commendable 40, falling to a not particularly great delivery from Usman Kadir. They lost Milan for a rather disappointing 14. But England, I think, will happily take 221 for 3.
Damn right.
We'll give you some messages, and after that, we should be back with the second innings. That's the word I'm looking for. Jack.
Neil Harris. To all those folks who think these T20s are useless, Harry Brooks disagrees with you. Confidence is an important thing. Jay Grover says, I like the fact there are 2 batters at the crews who both admit they're dumb. Hope for us all. Leah says, by what band and from what album is Elysian Fields, Jack?
No idea.
Wrong. Yeah. England post a new T20 record at Karachi, surpassing the previous best score of 208, but will it be enough? Will England break the wicket drought? I think it's probably enough.
Yeah.
I think even if they don't take a wicket, they might win this time.
Yeah.
Neil Harris, GC Radio can't understand why folks drink something without alcohol because they're thirsty. Leah, this Harry Brook looks pretty good. and then in brackets, insert witty comment, Noi, Dara, Azizi here. Brian, RE beer prices. Last week in France at Deauville, a pint of Leffe Blonde was $7.90 in a Tabac. In 2019, we go from Saudi Arabia to Bahrain for a Friday brunch, £36 for all the food you can consume in 4 hours. I think that's up to speed. So I'm going to bid you adieu.
Adieu.
And, see you later.
See you later. We're going to go and watch some Dice cricket. We'll only be off for about 10-15 minutes, but I'm back on straight after tea, and I've been on for 3 in a row, so I need a little rest. See you shortly.
Nets felt the sharp discipline of Mother Cricket. The how the fuckers, how the fucked off, and the gingerbread men snapped and crumbled. Now we're at what they call the sharp end, and hoping not to be stabbed by it, the surprise winners of Group A and the sneakers in through the back door of Group B. I'm Knuckle Impande, I'm your host, social media wrangler and scorer, and continuing his fine work as interim coach of the Beardy Bastards 11 who topped Group A, Al Hotchkiss.
Afternoon, Knuckle. Afternoon, everybody.
And his opponent here at Trent Bridge, the chef du mission of the Fat Lot of Use 11, Nigel Hendo Henderson.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit unfair to say that we sort of sneaked in anywhere, because the people of our size don't sneak anywhere. They tend to be sort of ripples around them wherever they move. So I think we need a bit more credit than that. To be honest, I'm a bit sensitive today about my fat boys.
You move well for big men. And rolling the dice and making the things work, technical term, Nigel the Bear Walker.
Good afternoon, everybody. Looking forward to this first semi-final.
So exciting, isn't it? It's so exciting. I mean, this is now we're getting down to the real grit of the tournament, and I think we might even get more than 7 listeners today.
The wheat is definitely separated from the chaff at this stage.
Indeed. We don't want them chaffing.
Indeed. We're threshing here, there, and everywhere. Should, of course, say that we are raising money throughout this Dick Willabroad Alzat Trophy for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation UK, who do fantastic work to research the treatment, prevention, and hopefully eventually cure of type 1 diabetes, a cause which is very close to the gorilla heart for a number of reasons. We have a crowdfunder on Just Giving. It is pinned to our social media feeds, and it is all over the video descriptions of these very videos that are on Facebook and YouTube. You can, of course, watch us on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Those links are also easily findable on Twitter. And, of course, you can tweet us, and I'll be reading those through the course of the day. Before we do go to the toss, which Nigel will officiate, we must note the alarming presence of a rift in the space-time continuum. Timelines crashing into each other that never should meet. It's all getting wibbly-wobbly and timey-wimey. W.G. Grace and Ian Botham do battle against their younger and older, hairier and fatter selves. All will be made unclear. Over to the bear for the toss. Hendo, you shall call.
And I will call for a great big head. Oh, well, what happened there?
I dropped the coin. I didn't flick it.
It's a full start.
It was a full start. Here we go. It's a tail.
It's got to be heads. It's got to be
tails.
heads.
It's tails.
Oh. That is tails.
So the Beardy Bastards have won the toss. And
we're going to bowl, sir. We are going to bowl.
Well, it's all right. I would have batted, so I'm quite happy with that. I always like to get up front and get the runs on the board, put pressure on, scoreboard pressure. That's what it's all about.
So the Beardy Bastards have won the toss and decided to field first at Trent Bridge. Al, just talk us through your decision making behind that and behind your 11. I understand we have one change.
Just one change for us. Nothing too major. Monty Panesar is going to come out of the attack after playing in the last game. Dizzy Gillespie is coming in. Jason Gillespie will go in hot and heavy on a pace attack. So our 11, really Grace, or one version of Grace anyway. Ali, Yusuf, Sterling, Botham, 77 to 84. Bonner, Marshall, Gillespie, Hendrick, and then Black. Our wicketkeeper at number 11,
who's been doing fine work with the gloves. Hendo, you said you're happy enough to be batting first.
Absolutely. I mean, we've been waiting for Mohamed Shahzad to catch fire in this tournament. I think today could be the day. Mark Cosgrove be looking for runs as well. The WG Grace. Well, it's going to be interesting to see which of the WG Graces people have come to see back today. But I, for one, want to see my WG Grace doing wonderful things. He is, of course, the oldest man in this tournament at 172. I think
pretty old.
So he's looking quite good. My version is 172 years old today.
Skeletal, indeed. Right,
who's going to open the bowling then?
That's an interesting choice. Opening the bowling will be MD Marshall.
Okay, well, we have some jingles. We're going to have Marshall. And who's bowling to first up?
It'll be Mohamed Shahzad.
Okay.
With Mark Cosgrove at the non-striker's end.
Yeah.
Indeed. Right, here we go.
This isn't just another Afghan cricketer. All new Mohamed Shahzad, with class-leading power and a 3-ton towing capacity. There's never been so much innovation in a cricketer. Mohamed Shahzad gets the tough jobs done.
And it's over to Nigel Henderson up in the comms box at Trent Bridge for commentary of the first innings.
Well, I should just give you the full team, shouldn't I? I forgot to do that. Mohamed Shahzad, Mark Cosgrove, WG Grace, later years, Warwick Armstrong, captain, Arjuna Ranatunga, Samit Patel, Sir Ian Botham after 84, Rakeem Cornwall, Ian Austin, Dwayne Leverock, and Merv Arsewipe himself, Hughes. And it is Malcolm Marshall with the ball in his hand. I watched him last week in 1984, and he's appealing against Mohamed Shahzad, and what has happened there? It's not out. Oh my goodness, that flicked the top of the pad. He thought he'd got him there with his skiddy action, but I think that's just clearing the off bail, and a fortunate escape for the Fat Boys right at the outset. Second ball, he's in again. Another appeal. Oh my goodness me! Can he escape again?
Oh!
An extraordinary start to this game. Extraordinary start. 2 appeals. One was not out and one was a no ball, but at least the Fat Boys are off the mark. Marshall again in bowls, and this time Shahzad goes back to a short one and swivels and pulls it over mid-wicket. Didn't get all of it, but he gets 4 runs and they're up and running.
2 + 2 is our man.
Mohamed Shahzad with scores of 11, 12 and 21 in the tournament so far. What can he do today? Well, he's off the mark now. In comes Marshall again, and he's going to hit him for another 4. Beautifully onto the front foot this time and lifting it up and over extra cover. 4 more to Mohamed Shahzad.
There's not one ball for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Well, what a start to this semi-final. It really has taken off with bells on. And this is another 4 for Shahzad. He was a little bit lucky there. He was feeling for that outside the off stump. Gets a bottom edge to it, and it flies fine of the wicketkeeper down all the way to long leg for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, here we go. Marshall in, 2 balls to go in this over. He's in again to Shahzad, and he was feeling for that, but he's going to get lucky once more. It's gone flying off the shoulder of the bat. It's gone fine again. It means third man has a long way to get round to that, and they're back for the third. Final ball of the over will be bowled to none other than Mark Cosgrove, the left-hander, and that's smashed for 4. He rocks onto the back foot and plants that away through cover point. What an extraordinary first over.
Now my innings going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball and went for 4 runs.
Scenes, as they say, at Trent Bridge. After one 7-ball over, the fat lot of US11 having been put into bat by the beardy bastards are 20 for no loss. Mohamed Shahzad is on 15, Mark Cosgrove is on 4. We do have some people with us on various...
We're back. We are back. We're back. Messi's not with us. Should be. Oh my God.
No, I think it's you, me and Al.
I
thought. I could be wrong.
I've got me and Messi.
Yes, you're right. It's you, me and Messi.
Jesus,
absolutely.
that was quick.
It's T20. First ball's bowled. It's defended. The protagonists are this man,
Interesting choice of opening bowler as well.
He's not hit at bowls, he can hit the ball. Really quite far if the bowling's so far, the runs are sure to flow. Oh, he bats and he keeps, and that's what the deal is, because he's Muhammad Rizwan.
And the bowler, his second ball is just played. Oh no, jeez. They will get a single. Muhammad Rizwan just sort of defended it down towards mid-on, set off for a run, not thinking that Liam Dawson could actually get across and field his own bowling. Fortunately, it bobbled over his hand as he went down to field it. The other batsman is this man, obviously.
No, sir. He doesn't, because he's a cricketer from Pakistan and he's a really good one. Thank you very much.
And this man, obviously, is bowling.
Liam. Dawson. Liam. Dawson. Liam Dawson.
Well,
it's Liam Dawson.
Had a very decent 100. Good economy.
I've never really rated Dawson.
3 for 15, I think he took for Spirit against the Phoenix at Lords. Took none for 21, but he bowled very well. And when England were taking no small amount of tap in that game late yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Just does tend to bowl sort of leg side dance. I suppose it's how I would bowl up as in, fire it in at sort of mid and leg stump and hope for the best. It gets clipped into the leg side by Baba off his first ball.
You give it more flight, is that what you're saying?
No, I would bowl it. This is it. I think you kind of tend to think if I bowl it flat and in at leg stump, it does any turn, it's a good ball. And if not, I've set my field. Next ball is clubbed. As Rizwan gets down on 1 foot, it's a little bit short, and it goes out to the mid-wicket boundary. First of another lot of boundaries. There's an awful lot of boundaries.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
Now, I've gone under for the fall of the first wicket of Pakistan every day.
What? Under how much?
Well, it's generally been, I've let them get sort of 10 runs, and it's been 39, 41, 42, and it failed both times. Driven out to Rizwan, and there's no run, but I'm going to continue. I've got 37.5 now, and I'm going for it.
Where did we end up on the GPL? Was there anyone in play still?
No.
Or did no one anticipate England getting it?
Only if Pakistan lose by a lot, then quite a few people are in.
Of course, yeah.
Just dropped into the offside. It'll be a single. Ends the over. 7 off the first. Behind the run rate already. They need, what do they need an over? 11?
Yeah, that's about right. So our tweeters, I think, have probably been surprised by it coming back so quickly. But Nestler's, God bless him, sent in a headline for today from Sky News. It says, protester sets arm on fire on court ahead of Federer's farewell tennis match in London tonight. What? So that's a perfect mix of Nestler's love of tennis and his love of extraordinary headlines. So perfectly done, Nestler. Thanks, mate.
Well, the crazy fuckers in the Tory party have just sunk our country with a stupid mini budget. The pound's fallen 3.5% today.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shit.
The markets, who these people love to adore, but it clearly thinks they're a bunch of fucking nutcases, and they are.
Well,
at the other end, let's get away from that. It's depressing. It's this man back. First game over here. First ball is to Baba. No, Rizwan, sorry, just drops it into the offside square. The heels, I think, and there's no run. Brooks.
But Reece Topley is finally in the side.
.31 the required rate at the start of this over, and they were
Which
going
ain't great.
obviously
It's nearly 2 a ball from the off.
Yeah.
Topley in, clipped by Rizwan straight to mid wicket. That's Harry Brook, and it's no run. He must be feeling good about life.
Well, that was some partnership between, if Rizwan and Barber were magnificent last night, then Brook and Duckett tonight were quite superb.
Exactly. And one thing, the fast bowlers do bowl fast, but the faster it comes onto the mat, the faster it goes off.
I think it was the range of shots as well that mainly, particularly for Harry Brook.
Rizwan. Slightly slower ball, I think, from top. Just guides it down to short third man. But is that Woody down there? We're going to get to play the Woody jingle again.
Oh yeah, it seems like forever. Well, it has been since February or March.
Yeah, it has been.
I'm very disappointed that England couldn't find room for wood at both ends.
What? Yes. A veritable forest of an opening attack.
Yeah. Topley is in. It's a cross, Baba, who plays it out into the deep on the offside. There is a man out there. We'll get that for 2 though. Who's that? Is that Hales? I keep saying everyone's Hales. I can't make anyone out, but I think that was Hales.
What's going to be interesting when wood bowling, Mark as opposed to Luke, is, I mean, obviously he's been in the nets, so he has proven his fitness, and England have the confidence, but there's got to be a degree of rustiness. You don't have a lot of time to hit your straps
you
and
think that
ease yourself in here,
you would
do you?
do, but I mean, presumably he's bowling loads in the nets, and you know, I mean, you can't play. I mean, he will be rusty in game situation, but oh, it's edged! Oh, leading edge as Babar Azam tried to work it into the leg side and caught the leading edge. Just went slightly over the head of whoever was at cover.
I think it may have been Milan.
Was
I
it
need another look.
He's usually behind. That's not.
No,
he's
it's not.
palmed it up in the air. It was Dawood Milan.
Yeah, it was Dawood Milan.
He just couldn't grab hold of it. He had to go up full stretch with one arm, powered it over the bar. Unfortunately, the man behind him couldn't get around to catch it.
Babar Azam then looked at his bat as though it was entirely its fault rather than anything he did.
Yes. Shame. Topley in. Oh, there's a big appeal for OW. Slower ball. Probably did pitch outside leg. If not, it's not a bad shout.
I'd say it did.
Oh, I think it did, which is why I don't think it'll be out. But on the other hand, you know, if you're going to use reviews, you might as well use a review on one of these two. But it doesn't look like Moen Ali's going to do it.
Oh, here you go.
Well, here we go. He doesn't normally open in a. Does he bowl in a power play? Does Artwood? He's got a jingle.
Sharp haircut. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler, quite good and pretty quick. So just a normal guy. Of course. Except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse. Right. What?
Well, right arm over. We haven't seen him since March. He's looking quite svelte.
It's been in the paddock.
Tawintawu is asking an existential question. He says, as a married man of a certain age with 2 children, is it right of me to enjoy old recorded dice games more than the real thing?
It's whatever floats your boat.
Whatever floats
if
your
people
boat.
are enjoying that, we
Woody's
are happy.
in. First ball is into the pads of Rizwan. Tries to hoik it into leg side. Doesn't get anything on it. I don't think it'll be a leg by. No, it must have got a bit of bat on it because he's got a single.
If you're worried about listening to it, think about the old men who played it for weeks on end.
One situation where you just think that